Hello! Welcome to this week's episode of Journal Entries. As you may know, last week was the final week to join Exclusively Empowered, which is my private coaching experience. And some members joined early last week, which meant they were able to have their first call. I love these calls and just meeting these women where they're at and learning about what they're going through. What we're going to be talking about today is just this one tiny sentence that one of my clients shared, because as soon as she said it, it really hit home for me, and I knew that it would be something that I needed to journal through, and I think that a lot of you might need to journal through or just reflect on as well, and it might make you feel much better at the end once I bring awareness to this. So my client is currently going through a tough place in her career. She's really hemming and hawing over if she should stay at her job. That's honestly like an ideal position for her in many ways, or if she should take the risk to kind of do what she loves, and it would create more space for her and allow her to make more memories with her family and be more present and all of that. Within our discussion and talking about all of the emotions and the pros and cons and fears and all of the things that go into it, she said something along the lines of, I haven't been able to make my own choices in life. When she was 18, she made the choice to go to medical school. And since then, she's just kind of ridden the train of going to undergrad, going to grad school, going to medical school, going through residency, and now working in the medical field. And it's almost as if her life has been laid out for her, and she's been living on autopilot just to kind of stay afloat, to stay focused, to stay accomplished, to make those in her life proud of her. She also has a son, so to make sure that he's taken care of. It's like she hasn't been able to take her eye off of the prize being like to financially support herself. And she hasn't had the emotional bandwidth to question anything outside of that, anything else that comes into her life. She hasn't been able to question where she is in her life currently, what she wants beyond the basic needs, and the choices that she would be making if she felt like she could, if she gave herself permission to do such a thing. When she was sharing all of this with me, I started to reflect on my own life because it hit home. There was a time where I was like, yeah, I feel like I have not made a choice like a big choice in my life. I just felt like I was on autopilot. I felt like I was on autopilot truly until I made the choice to leave my marriage. And after that, I also slipped into autopilot, but that was just such a defining moment, such a huge decision, as you can imagine, that it shook me. And I was like, whoa, this feels like the biggest decision I've made ever in my whole entire life. And there were other big choices in my life, like when I left my corporate job. That felt like a huge defining moment, you know? And it also felt like a big moment of where I went to go to my undergrad college. I was really hemming and hawing over where to go. And it felt like a big moment for me because of my twin sister. It was the moment where I was deciding, do I stay with her and go to the same school that she is going to go to because she was set on where she wanted to go? Or do I break free and go to this other school that I really wanted to go to? And so I was hemming and hawing, and eventually I decided to go to the same school as my twin sister, which I don't regret at all. Love that choice for me. But that felt like a really big choice that I made. But besides that, and in between those choices, much of my life felt like it was on autopilot. And I feel like as a mom, we often slip into these autopilot modes because like we have so much to do. We have so much responsibility and so much on our plates that anything else almost feels like overwhelm, and we're already overwhelmed. So the act of questioning and like adding more choices to our plates feels like it's too much and we just can't. But when we don't stop to just question, which doesn't take much time at all, when we don't stop to question these things, that's when we risk like waking up in 5 years, looking back and thinking, where did my life go? Or why am I still in this relationship? Or why am I still in this job? What my autopilot life looked like in the beginning was waking up early, exercising, getting ready for work in the showers and like the tiny little stalls at my gym, and then commuting 25 to 30 minutes to go to my job from 8 to 5, and then coming home and then making dinner and watching TV and then doing it all over again. Or sometimes I would have a call for work late at night. Or once I started working for myself, during that season of my life, same thing. I'd wake up early, exercise, get ready for work from my living room, but then wait for my partner to get home. We would then usually make dinner, watch TV, then do it all over again. I imagine once Griffin, my son, is older, there will be more variety because he will be involved in more. But even then, too, you get in the autopilot of like driving to the sports practices and whatnot. And feeling like you aren't actively making choices in your own life feels awful. It almost feels like you're a pawn and like your life isn't intentional and like you're not going anywhere, and almost like you're serving everybody else in your life but not serving yourself. My client put it like this: you want your life to have like an upward trend or like an upward thread, and like you're picking up from the day before, and like you're growing and building upon the day before and making progress. But when you're on autopilot, it just feels like you're starting over each day versus growing and building upon what you did the day before. And part of the reason that we're not building on the day before and that we are on autopilot is because we're not aware enough to be making these choices throughout the day. Hey guys, I wanted to pop in here quick to share my friend Alan's brand new podcast, When Heaven Meets Hell. If you like true crime, you may be interested in this. It's not murder related, thank God, but it is a juicy show about Alan's storybook romance turned nightmare, exposing her fiancé's double life woven with a massive web of lies, deceit, and cheating. Her goal is to educate and empower women to heal from the trauma of narcissistic abuse. Alan put together this fun audio clip for you to listen to, and if you love it, go search for the limited series podcast When Heaven Meets Hell and binge her episodes. Enjoy the clip, and I'll be right back with some journal prompts for you.
Just need a minute, I think.
They will use, harm, betray, and exploit the people that they love. Once you kind of start to leave your body and go over and be with them, you know, no one's really home. They could kind of do whatever they want.
1 in 3 women are abused in their lifetime. And that means that 1 in 3 women are willing to tell their story.
I believe you battled with a narcissist.
I swiped yes, the swipe that would change my life.
They're empty. So they need you to connect to them so they can feed off of you.
He said, well, I told them that you're my girlfriend. I said, what?
Then you add in this whole other layer of betrayal and manipulation.
He asked me to marry him, and I said yes.
Only one who would do that, especially to somebody that they supposedly love, is mentally unwell.
His sister said, what are those bruises from? I'm not going to say, oh, your brother.
It was so great. You find out later he's buying a house with someone else. It's like, what the heck?
That was the first time I ever heard another woman in the background. They're not black eyes. They're beautiful, but they're dead inside. This is When Heaven Meets Hell.
Okay, so here are the journal prompts that I used to help me take back control of my life and put me at the center of my choices. First, what are the main character choices that I've made in my life so far? I've already mentioned a few, like where I went to college. For you, it might be who you chose to marry. For me, that didn't feel like a choice. It just felt like the next step because I was dating my partner for 8 years, and it was just like, yeah, sure, let's do it. But leaving my marriage felt like a bold declaration. So based on your situation. One of those might be true for you. Starting my business felt like a choice. So what are your main character choices that you've made in your life so far? The next prompt is, what choices can I make today? And I want you to separate it out into two different buckets, personal and professional. With personal, think through things like, what do I want for dinner? Maybe you have a meal plan and today you planned for chicken and broccoli. Actively make the choice like, yes, I want to make that today because I said I was going to and it's going to make me feel really good and healthy. Or maybe you're looking at that for the meal later tonight and you decide, I don't want that. Instead, I want to celebrate tonight and I'm going to order pizza and I am making that choice and it's going to feel really good and that is what I'm going to do. Maybe your choice is on what you're going to wear. Choose, like get off of autopilot, and you may even choose the same outfit that you would have chosen anyways, but make it an intentional, active choice of what you want to wear. Also, you might be like me, or the old version of me, where if somebody said like, Sam, what do you want to eat? Or Sam, what movie do you want to see? I used to say, oh, I'll eat anywhere, or I'll see whatever movie. But in reality, like, I want to go see the rom-com. I want to go see the cute love movie. So think through, like, what movie do you want to see this weekend? So that A, you can go see it, or B, if somebody asks you, you can be prepared. Go look at your local theater, what movies are in town, and decide what you want to go see. So those are just a few quick examples of personal. Next, the professional group. What projects do you want to take on at work if you have the luxury and that choice? What jobs do I want to apply to if you're in that season? What conversations do I want to have at work? Do you want to have a conversation with your boss about something? Do you want to start a conversation with a coworker about something? Another choice that you can make in the professional world is, what networking opportunities do I want to attend, or what rooms do I want to be a part of to potentially advance my career or just get in the room with the right people? You know, like, it's all about who you know. And so who can you meet that might down the road be the person to connect you to the right person? I want to remind you that you are in control of your life. No one else. If you don't realize this and you do just keep floating on autopilot, others will direct you and guide you to where you fit in their lives. I almost picture this as a game at a theme park where there's like ducks in water and they're racing, and there's like borders to where you want them to like stay in between the lines. I feel like when we're on autopilot, we're the duck and we're floating and we're just kind of bumping into the walls, like hoping that we're going straight. And I feel like the people in our lives are on the sides and we're bumping, and you know, they're guiding us and directing us in ways that fit them. But we have the chance to make our own choices, to get into our own lane, and to not be the duck, to be the queen, and to be whoever it is that we want to be, and to make your life incredible. So I want you, and I want to encourage you to make that choice today.